has everybody read the agenda? Is there anything you want to add? John?
Yeah, Victoria asked me if I could, how to get money out of what they've, collected to buy some business cards.
Okay.
And I said, I'll bring it up to the board. If we have to, it's probably what, $10, $15 or something.
We will go ahead and put that in new business, but that won't take but a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some guests here today. Would you take a moment and introduce yourself so that we can get it on the record?
Yeah, I'm Thomas Peppers. I live in Boulder County. I'm associated with the Boulder County Libertarian Party.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. And I've been active with the Libertarian Party since 2009, 2010-ish.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Christian. I'm from up in Fort Collins. I'm active since 2012, 13, around that time.
I'm glad you came down from Fort Collins, Christian. I think you and I have spoken on the phone a couple times.
Probably.
Yeah, okay, good.
David Atkin, I'm the database manager.
All right, Dynamite, thanks for coming, everybody. Has everybody read the minutes?
I sent that one correctly.
I got it. Yeah.
Any other changes that need to be made? Okay. Officer reports. I'm going to take just a moment here. Guys, we have a couple of reasons why we need to have the reports in on Wednesday if possible. David posts them on our website, and he has to have time to get that done well before the meeting. So let's make life easier on David and make sure we have the reports in place. And the other reason that it's important to have the reports posted is so that everybody has an opportunity to read each individual officer's report and write down any questions that they have that can be brought up at the meeting. So if you guys aren't reading everybody's reports ahead of time, I would encourage you to. All right. I'll start with mine. I don't have anything to add. I have 3 board members that I still need to meet to review the business plan. Mike, Eric, and John. Now, Mike and John, yours will be very, very fast. It'll be a 2-minute meeting. Eric, yours and I will take just a little bit longer than that. Does anybody have any inputs that they want to give me back after the review that we had online or in person? Okay. Well, I have nothing further to add. Vice Chair?
Nothing further to add in my report.
Okay. Treasurer?
Nothing really to add, but did we get a reminder about doing our reports this month?
We did not. I dropped the ball. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay. Okay. Fundraising?
Just want to emphasize from the report that the 2 people I was asked to contact, I have contacted them both, and they have confirmed that they will be continuing their donations.
Okay, good.
Other than that, just want to brag one more time. The Libertarian Party of Arapahoe County has passed the Democratic Party's Facebook page a number of likes.
Good.
We're not quite to Douglas County yet, but we are getting there.
Well, you have a bigger county. You should be able to pass this pretty easily.
All right. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Outreach?
Pride Fest, we got a pretty good crowd of volunteers, except I have nobody who wants to work Sunday afternoon from 2 to 6. So we're looking for
What Sunday is that?
Sunday, this coming Sunday,
2 to 6?
2 to 6.
I'll be there.
Can you come Sunday instead of Saturday? That'd be perfect. I got a lot of help.
With the exception of Sunday, are you well staffed for the rest of the weekend?
And I just have a question. Are there work shifts listed somewhere, or like the specific times that you can sign up for?
In the old days, they put up on Meetup. I just put out calls for, ideally, I don't want to wear anybody out.
Right.
So I don't want to push anybody beyond the 4-hour window, minimum of 2 hours if you can do it. And then a lot of people said I can do it anytime this day or anytime that day, and I plug in where it's most needed. And then when I got a big gap, like 2 to 6 on Sunday, then I raise my hand and say,
all right, let me try. Yeah, I can probably do 2 to 6, or at least 2 hours, 3 hours in there. Something like that.
we're finding, and I don't know if one event's gonna change substantially for another, but both of the events I've been to so far are pretty typical. Sunday morning is dead. Nobody gets up at Denver before noon on Sunday, I swear, or they're in church if they do. So you get a pretty good rush both days, like somewhere between noon and 4. This one closes a little earlier than the last two. It actually closes at 6 o'clock on Sunday. They've been going until 7, 8 o'clock in the last couple. And the last event, they had the big music going on. Everybody was hanging out at the concert venue. Nobody was walking by our booth late in the afternoon. So there may not be a lot to do late in the afternoon on Sunday, but we still have to be there.
It was boiling hot last year at Pride Fest.
It was terrible.
It was, wasn't it? It was.
Jake probably got heat exhaustion, and I ordered on it myself, and that was with carrying CamelBak, so make sure we have lots of water there for
Yeah,
that.
I've been bringing that, we got that 5-gallon orange cooler, and I've been keeping that full of
But we
ice
had
water.
fans and we were still like,
There was
Yeah.
running body glitter everywhere.
Both 30 and 70 SPF sunscreen.
Have you been going through that entire 5 gallons? I have another one if you need it, Kevin.
No, actually, the 5 gallons lasted 2 days, and it's incredibly well insulated because I'll have ice all the way to the end.
Wow. Good. All right. Regents.
Nothing to add to my report.
I just received Mike's by email. Those of you that have your computers, you can take a moment to read it. He had some interesting ideas in there, or some interesting information for us. Mike was traveling, so his report was delayed, but we do have it in hand now, although it's not on the drive yet. We just have it by email. All right, membership.
First, I had a question. So did my report show up where it was supposed to be?
It's perfect. Yep.
Okay, no, I saw in the email that it wasn't in there.
It showed up 3 times on my
Did-
drive.
okay.
yeah, I've got 3 copies of it.
Yeah.
Well, in your email, it said membership wasn't there.
At the time I sent it.
Okay, I thought it was in there by then, but all right, I wasn't sure if I put it wrong.
Well, that was David giving me the list. I didn't check. I trust
Okay.
David checking on it though. He's the taskmaster on that one now.
And I don't really have anything else except that we're going to discuss the newsletter further in the.
Communications.
I don't think I have anything to add. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not feeling very well tonight, so if I seem a little lackluster, that's why. Let me just flip through it quickly. I don't think there was anything I needed to add, though. Yeah, no, that's it. That's enough.
Okay.
I have a question on the
Okay.
board reports.
Yeah.
There was a naming convention that was established before. But I wonder if we got some new board members and maybe that needs to be revisited or
Was there a naming convention?
year, month, name of the. This wasn't that long ago.
I have
Forget it,
no
John, 'cause I'm drawing a
recollection.
blank also.
I have no recollection of a naming convention.
Refresh our memory. I don't remember either.
Well, it was for everybody, for the board reports.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be, I think it was year, month, and then the title, the officer's top position.
So we've got vice chair, treasurer, and regions all use that format, 2017-06 underscore
Oh,
regions.
I see what you're
underscore board reports.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's the format we should follow.
Well, that was established sometime last year.
Now I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, that rings like absolutely no bell with me. And it's weird because I love naming conventions. You can see it's a list I have for LPDA. Boy, we've got it complicated naming system.
Hello,
Hello.
sorry for arriving late.
No
That's all
worries.
right. If you would, please introduce yourself so that we
Sure.
know who you are.
I'm Joe Gensheimer. I've come to some of the Libertarian meetups at the $5 burger place, but I don't remember the name, and I've seen you there. And I'm a member of the National. I moved from Massachusetts to here.
Oh,
Was a member of the
beautiful. Welcome.
Massachusetts party, so
Welcome. Thank you.
thank you very much.
So you know George Phillies, huh?
Well, yes, a little bit. So I lived in Western Massachusetts, which
Okay.
was 90 miles from Boston, so didn't always see the other folks. By the way, somebody has a red Kia that's taking 2 parking spots. Somebody came by and was using a lot of expletives trying to get into that spot. So I don't know who it was,
Is
but
this somebody here?
There's another group that meets in there too.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, I'm just saying that I didn't want them to come back and do
Be key.
damage to the car.
I better
Can I
know,
spell your
Justin, I
name?
made my report.
Yeah, you go. Sure, it's Joe Gensheimer, Genshei, and this is Michael, ER. I also joined the Colorado party.
Oh, thank you.
Great. All right, I guess last but not least, be records.
Hey,
Well, your last two.
We still got Legion.
Yeah.
We can go that long. So are we still doing the candidate recruitment call? There was
The
some
14th?
emails, yeah, 14th.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
hope
coming up.
so. I just put out an
have
email
that
blast to
report
Yeah.
That I
all the-
registered for that, and I believe, Richard, you were registered for that as well.
For what now?
The
candidate
webinar
call.
on Wednesday.
Yeah, I,
Candidate
Oh, yeah.
recruiting.
Yeah, from that Wes is doing.
Yeah.
I'll be making them.
No, I didn't see your report. Did you put together a report this morning?
No, I just got back yesterday. So.
Slacker. That means we get to beat you.
That didn't seem- that didn't seem to be a problem.
I did attend a meeting that the Independence Institute is funding. Mike Krause is kind of running it. The Independence Institute isn't officially running it, but the idea is for small offices, and if we're going to do candidate recruitment, they're looking for to know if we want to participate. And what they're trying to do is
Okay,
get.
well, we have a spot on
people.
unfinished business in just a few minutes for that, Mike.
Okay, I just want to put it in because we didn't get it last time, so it's going to.
We have priority this month.
All right, we'll talk about it then. That's it.
All right, now let's see your report.
I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone had any questions.
All right, technology committee. Do you have anything for us? And state convention committee, I actually put this down at the very bottom of our new business. We talked about that a little bit. In unfinished business, all right, your turn, Mike. Go ahead and give us the full rundown on Mike Krause.
All right, so they've noticed that the Democrats have a process where they solicit people who seem to be active, put them in small offices to learn the ropes, and then they move them up through representative, et cetera. And that was something that we proposed here about 8-10 years ago. We have a database that Norm and I built of all the 4,000 small offices in Colorado and everything like that. So Independence Institute through Mike Krause is putting together a process. They had people who were office holders at small offices. They'd be gathering for them, which is quite nice. And then they talked to them about what they can do. I worked with Greg, who's built yet another database of offices. And so we're going to merge the databases so we can trade data. And Kathleen, who works with the Independence Institute, she has volunteered to come speak to candidates and talk to them about the opportunity of going to a small office. So if you have candidates that, if we run across while we're trying to get this grand slate, people are interested but not ready to do something big or don't want to do a campaign yet or whatever, really, if you really want to eventually serve in a higher office, it really helps to start with a smaller office.
Is that something you could reach out to Kim and get this together?
You think that best fit with you?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I've got a number of people I'm putting into the candidates group. I'm gonna add you to that one so that you can interact with everybody. So everybody who's interested in being a candidate, putting into that group to foster. I've sent emails to everybody. For some reason, poor Daniel keeps getting all of the interest forms and then he has to forward them to me.
I don't mind.
That's my design.
Yeah, it's easy.
The problem for me is that Gmail decides where it's going to put it. Sometimes it's in the inbox, sometimes it's in updates, sometimes it's in forums, and I can never find a thing. It takes me seriously 20.
Is there somebody that's very well versed in
You can
Gmail
delete
that can
those
help her
other
with this?
categories.
But if I delete the category, are all of the emails in that category going to go with it?
I don't believe so, but you might need to do a Google search
So-
on that. I had to do that right in the beginning because you have those tabs at the top, and I got rid of them all, so everything goes to the inbox.
because it's driving me nuts.
Yeah,
Seriously,
if
it's
you
driving
get,
my
if you get
head.
rid of those,
Um,
those filters, those folders, they will all go to the inbox for you. So what it'll do is it'll take, if you have something, say from last February, it'll redirect it to where it would be in the inbox and during that timeline. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make any
We
sense
can
to
talk,
me.
yeah, we can talk now. So you're
Yeah,
gonna help her with
I'm
this, Richard?
trying to find conversations that took place 6 months ago that are way down, and I'm missing so much because I simply cannot get a handle on where shit is.
I had the same problem.
It's driving
And
my.
what you may
But
want
anyway,
to do is organize some folders that you.
yeah, that's fine, I can organize the folders, but still the conversations don't go into that folder. They still end up in one of 4 or 5 different places. And
Okay, there's a setting, and there's a setting you need to change. I had to do it on mine, because every time I had a conversation, once I responded, it went away.
Yeah.
So, but it's just a setting. So it's an easy fix if you find the setting. Richard, he'll reach out.
Yeah.
So I have responded with an email to everybody who's expressed interest in running for office, and I have put them into the candidates group on Facebook if and when I can find them on Facebook. So yes, I think that is something that we definitely want to do, is farm candidates.
Are we sure though? Because if they're on, whatever, a water board, they're not running as a candidate, and we lose our chance to get a full slate. What if you only approach the ones where we have multiple people going for the same office?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, some of them, I have 1 or 2 here. I have at least 3 people interested in running for president.
Of what?
Yeah. So perhaps, suggesting that gathering a little experience on the water board or the school board or something like that, because they may have time before 2020 rolls around to kind of get their feet wet a wee bit. So
And we've had a
they're-
couple elected to city council, which is, great experience, so.
Yes, it is. And we have a couple who are interested in county commissioner, but we've got, as I said, at least 3, 1 for Supreme Court Justice even.
You can run for that?
Yeah, I thought that's a nominated Senate confirmed position.
You can't get elected, I want to say, on the state circuit.
Well, the state's.
But, all right, well, put me in and we'll add some stuff. And that's what we want to do with the forum. Do we want to officially join with Krause's group, or we want to just send people across and use their data?
Do you see any downside with us joining them?
Just that'll suck away our candidates, and they'll go out and be in real offices, and they're not campaigning and giving us publicity.
So you mean they run nonpartisan, but then when it came to partisan, they get Republican?
No, not commented anything.
If it's a way to get registered libertarians into those lower offices and that experience, so that when it comes time to run for an actual partisan position, they've got the tools that they need, I think that's really more of a win-win for us.
It might help our legitimacy to say we got, 85 people in office, even though they're small offices.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of thinking. If we can get libertarians in office, whether they're partisan races or not, the fact that they are libertarians serving in office, and we can then use those people to
Right, then they have experience when they
make
run.
bigger runs.
You have a motion, Mike?
I move we officially join with the Mike Krause's small office initiative.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any further discussion on it? Any objections? Okay.
All right.
Pass.
It'd be interesting having libertarians involved in waterboarding.
Waterboard, I get it.
Okay, guys, the next thing I want to talk about here, this is Mike put this on the agenda last week and we didn't get to it. And if I would have realized the importance of this, I would have changed the order. We have an opportunity. There's a very, very active activist that is pushing very hard to get some significant funding to repeal, is it 71?
71.
And this is a real big deal. Now, he doesn't want to be identified as of yet as to who he is, but it could bring a lot of money into the state. Now, the way that's going to happen is that we will be on the hook for collecting petitions in order to get Amendment 71 repealed. We will be paid for getting those petitions. Half of the money that is raised will go towards furthering the cause, and the other half will come to the state party. It could be $100,000 easily for us. But this is going to require a significant effort on all of our parts to get a lot of volunteers to get going on this thing. Mike, maybe you can explain a little bit more about this as well.
Well, before I start, right now, we're in limbo a little bit because we've gotten a lawyer who is pursuing this at the federal level to get an injunction on this. And if there's an injunction, then we'll run a petition through that will nullify it. But as long as 71 is in place, it's almost impossible to get any initiatives on the ballot.
Yeah, we've got to get that overturned.
But that's a long shot. So probably then the next thing is to actually run a petition to reverse 71. And is everybody familiar with what 71 did?
Elaborate.
Basically, it changed the requirements for getting an item on the ballot in Colorado.
Oh, is that the one where you got to get 2% in every county? Or?
Yeah,
Right.
that's the one.
In each of 64 counties, which is just a killer cost-wise. It also made it so it's harder for, or easier for the legislature to overturn one, and harder for the ones recommended by the legislature to be overturned. So they can still throw stuff on the ballot easy, and then afterwards, it's protected from being overturned, whereas the ones that the citizens do can be kicked off.
So it's like the 15% rule with the CPD.
Right. And I forget what the percentages are, but it's something like that.
Well, guys, I think in my opinion, we need to jump on board with this because this could be, number one, a game changer for the state of Colorado by getting this overturned, because that really threw a monkey wrench into any opportunities to get anything done in the state. But more importantly, it could be an opportunity to generate a lot of income for the state Libertarian Party. And
yeah, and let me explain the income. Is there are various backers who are willing to donate the money as in the form of payments for signatures. And so it's either 50 cents, $1, $2, whatever the going rate is for signatures. And then that money, when we have people gathering signatures, they can like take half for themselves and then half can go to the party or whatever. And so it raises a bunch of funds for us. And it's a quick way to make money. If people are experienced, you can make a bunch of money doing petition signatures. If you're not experienced, you help out and make some money. So
yeah, this could be, like I said, this could be the first opportunity that the state of Colorado really has to generate some significant money. And David?
Will we be on the hook for all 200,000 signatures or what?
Well, we'll be on the hook for probably as much as we can get, and they'll be bringing in paid petitioners to pick up the slack where we can't do it. We only get to generate the money for the stuff that for the signatures that we collect. But there's money to pay for paid petitioners. So, yeah.
I was going to wait till you finish. You were mid-sentence. I was just raising my hand, so when you were done.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Finding volunteers to get that many signatures is difficult if you're asking them to split the money. If we put out something that there's paid petition work, it's a whole lot easier. I'm not saying this from Colorado perspective, because maybe Colorado is different, but I'm saying this from my perspective of seeing a lot of petition drives being on the LNC. And petition work, states always think they can do it, and then they don't, and we have to get the paid petitioners in there, and they're going to minimum $2.50 a signature. Some places are all the way up to $5 a signature.
So, Mike, your understanding is that the signature collector would get half, and the other half would go to the state party?
Right, but the amount paid would be above market rate in order to, I mean, part of the whole purpose is to help the Libertarian Party.
Okay.
I agree, but you tell somebody, and there'll be two petitions. So you get $1 for each side or whatever, and it's much easier getting two signatures right there. And I don't know what the going rate is. And you're right, it goes all the way up to $5 in a
Oh,
really
well,
heated season. So.
In a heated season in California, they've gone over $10. I'm
A
totally
signature?
not shitting you. But in a slow
I'll do
season
that.
like this, it's about $2.50
Yeah.
a signature. The only thing I was throwing in there is 71 is important to get overturned. I would favor being behind it, even if we weren't going to get a dime out of it. This is political action to do.
That too, yeah.
Or even where we told the petitioners, give us 10%. I mean, I'm not even looking at the money. I'm looking at getting Amendment 71 overturned.
Right, and the payment comes to us and then goes to the
Okay.
petitioner, it could
Right.
be. And so we can say, hey, you're getting $2 a
Right.
signature, and they say, wow, and we're getting $3 a signature.
Right.
So however.
But
it
even
works
saying,
out.
even if it's a tiny bit,
Yeah.
rather than looking at it as so much of a money-making thing, as a, let's do some good politically.
Well, it's like many things
You
coming.
guys
in
are out of time.
conflicts.
Do we have a motion to extend this
So moved.
For 5 minutes.
for 5 minutes? No objections? Okay,
As Karen has pointed out, it's a couple things coming together at once. We could set up a nice war chest for future activity. And we could also be behind an event that helps to, give citizens more control over their government. So
This would be-
Tabor came from the initiative process, and it's
Yeah.
kept Colorado, in check for a long time.
it's a tremendous press opportunity for us as well if we get involved
I
in
was
this.
just gonna say-
So I really don't see any downside to it.
It'll give the county something that they can mobilize their people with, and
Yeah.
then in with that tie-in recruitment drives.
This could be done, this isn't a Denver thing, this is a statewide thing.
Yep.
So we can have people in Fort Collins do their thing, the people in Pueblo doing their thing, and we're collecting signatures all over. Richard?
Yeah, so I guess my only question is when we talk about being on the hook, are we actually on the hook for anything? Are we committing to, so it's just.
And they
purely,
pay for the
we-
signatures even if the drive fails.
Okay,
Yeah.
so regardless, we're not gonna be held to some standard, or we committed to get so many signatures and then we get paid or anything
No.
like that? There's no.
There's
catch.
professional signature gathering companies, and they usually would just use those,
Mhm.
but they're giving us a chance.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to make sure of from
Now,
that
the
fiscal
details, the
perspective.
details aren't hashed out, but that wasn't part of the conversation that we had. So I think we're okay at that.
I think we have some dissension.
I'm sorry, he just raised his hand. It's out of order.
So what is the action item out of this?
Well, I think the action item is if we have board approval, I will reach back out to our activist, and we'll at that point be in line for any future information, which should be forthcoming here pretty quick. The request to the big donors has already been placed. I don't know if it's been responded to yet. I was going to wait until tomorrow to call it, but that's where we stand right now. Is everybody on board with this?
Yeah, it
Yes.
sounds exciting.
Okay, no objections?
And what is this motion?
The motion is,
I can craft one real fast.
Okay.
Move to have the Libertarian Party of Colorado commit to this recall initiative opportunity.
Seconded.
okay. Any further discussion? Anybody opposed to it? All right, that carries.
Point of information.
Beautiful. I will make the call to our activist. As soon as you guys find out who it is, you'll know why. And this guy gets things done.
Point of information.
Yes.
Would it be premature for me to, as affiliate representative, to let El Paso County know about this?
Yes. Wait until I put it out on an email.
Wait, okay.
To be fair, it is all broadcasted live right now.
Yeah.
It's public.
It is, but we don't have the details. I'd rather unveil all the details all at the same time. Okay, next one we have.
Here's Larry.
I put this on the agenda on Steve's behalf. We need to talk about some of the things that we'd like to see on the newsletter, because there's been some confusion about what all that's going to be. So maybe we can collectively come up with a good game plan and a good idea to help Steve get a focus on what has to be done with the newsletter. Steve, you want to start us off and tell us some of your questions?
So I guess starting off, I thought that the newsletter was, my understanding was it was going to be more of an internal item or document. And I thought it'd be more like the volunteer opportunities that Karen sends out. That was kind of what I was picturing at the time. So I guess what I want to know is what it is supposed to be and how it would differ from the volunteer opportunities. And then the third part would be, I need an editor. So if anybody knows of any potential editors.
I don't judge it based off what you see me write. I cannot edit anything that I write. I was trained as an editor though, and I'm more than happy to help you out with that.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I think though, what Steve is asking for, if I can maybe direct this a bit, and it's up to the board what they were thinking, but the newsletter that is in my mind, it would be very similar to what Alan had put out before, which is, 4 or 5 pages, and it's articles submitted by various people. So when Steve is asking for an editor, I think he's more talking about someone who will do the actual layout and, right, not proofreading.
Oh.
He's talking about the person that produced the newsletter. It's not merely proofreading.
And I did talk to Alan about doing it, but at this time, he doesn't seem to be interested.
Kim?
Well, I've just published 2 books, so if you can help with that layout and everything, I can do that.
Timing, one of the things that we haven't really talked about specifically is timing. Do we want to do this quarterly or monthly?
Well, we haven't had one in a while. I would say quarterly.
Is it an internal or external document?
External. But it'll be both. But this
Well-
is something that we want to be able to send out to people that we have their email addresses.
So this is like what Wayne did and I did before him, not an internal looking for volunteers and stuff, but something for, I mean, when I sent it out, I went to the press as well as to everybody we had an email address for, every Libertarian we had an email address for.
And this
But
is the
I mean,
difficulty.
that's a big job.
Yeah.
It's a big job.
And,
no.
and it's the image of the party.
And then I did it before as publications.
Yeah, that's right.
That was an office. It is a huge job, and what does make it extra difficult is, you have to know your audience. If you're writing a newspaper, you used to work in newspapers, you have an audience. And as membership, I guess I'm picturing it's the membership, and that's why I was thinking of the volunteer opportunities kind of thing, more of a bullet point, here's a chance to do this to the membership. But if it's also meant to be external and to non-libertarians, that, well, yeah, you get kind of a split personality thing there. And so I guess that's what I'm trying to narrow down.
Well, I mean, I think as an example, you could think of course, a smaller version of LP News. That's meant to be an internal newsletter, but people do leave it at their doctor's office. I don't see this disjunction between internal and external. So the items in it would be of things of interest to people internally in the party. Hey, this is what happened at Pride Fest. And it has a little article about how we do our outreach. It might have something that I would submit that would be about the party history. People would have their own little niches. And it is primarily inward facing, but people who have libertarian curious friends might forward it to them, or if they printed it, give it to them. But I think LP News is very much like that. It talks about internal opportunities in the party, but plenty of people pass that around as well. I don't think the two are mutually exclusive.
I would have to agree.
I would think that the primary audience would be internal, but that the article should be written in a way that they would be of some interest to those outside of the organization as well, just kind of reaching into the party just slightly. I think that's a better way to put it. So audience, yeah, primarily internal. But don't discredit, don't make it 100%. Hey, we're going to have our meetup here at this time. That's sort of the kind of general interest articles. I think the history is a great way to go because we're finding all sorts of new stuff literally every day.
I also think putting in there that where to find your local affiliate.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where we're going to be. These sorts of things are a great thing because a lot of people don't keep up with us on Facebook. And this is some sort of legitimate newsletter that people can then look at.
There could be candidate profiles,
Yeah.
Boilerplate, just repeated.
Yeah.
Mike?
So I did this for 2 years maybe, And it was a lot of work. And we did basically that, the Pride Fest things and openings and upcoming parties and stuff like that. We had a 0.25% opening rate. So we averaged. And I had a thing in there where I could tell if the picture had been drawn, and so I knew that somebody had opened the thing. And then I counted how many clicks. I mean, we had various links and counted what clicks. And the participation was, I mean, people just tossed it. And it was dismal to put that much work into a device, you know, that most people aren't even going to use. So, you know, that's something to consider. We can come up with all kinds of cool things, but nobody's reading it. It's not very useful.
Do you know what Alan's?
David, is there a way to know if the email is open through Nation Builder?
Yeah, no, no, yes, we do. I know that.
Nation Builder can track it. I mean, we
It'll
use,
track links clicked, it will track opens, it'll track bounce backs. It does all the same stuff.
okay.
Alan's click-through rate isn't a good judge because he did it, for whatever reason we chose to do it this way. It'd say Colorado Newsletter and it'd be click here. And there was nothing in the email. I'm sorry, nobody ever opens those things. You have to have something that catches their eye. It can be a click here for more after a little bit.
Yeah, have a short paragraph.
Yeah, that's the way Nevada does it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have lead-ins. The newsletters that I get, that I actually read, all offer a tease in the email to read more and do.
I saved Nevada's one because they do it through Nation Builder, so it shows what Nation Builder can do. And it had those little lead-ins, and then it said for the rest of it, then click here. But you can't just have click here, which is the way ours was for a couple
Do we have a motion for more time?
Nevada's?
Motion for more time?
Yeah, I mean, motion for more time. Please.
Okay, 4 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. We have an opportunity. David has the database set up so well right now. We have a list of people that are libertarian curious that we've gathered through the outreach booths. And as long as we're as active at the outreach booths, we're getting people's information that have a curiosity about the Libertarian Party. I think those people need to be sent that email as well. We have their email address. Once again, one of the things that really bugged me in all the time that I spent at the outreach booths is that people come up to the booth and they don't even know what the Libertarian Party is all about. We have to get that word out. With Nation Builder, we have the ability to do it very, very cheaply. Now, guys, all the board members, I think it's important that we all take our turn writing articles. How did we do at Pride Fest? How did we do at People's Fair? How did we do at the Douglas County Rodeo? You know, if we have affiliates that have activities scheduled, we need to encourage them to write a little piece about how their success was at their latest activity. And any of those type of things is a type of information that we can get to Steve, and then can you say you could help do the layout and everything? Okay.
That's how it always starts, and then nobody contributes articles and end up writing all of them.
And if I
Well-
could just second, that is what happened.
Well,
In the experience.
My opinion on that is if nobody submits articles, then the party doesn't have a newsletter, and there's no reason that whoever ended up being the editor or membership director should write everything. That's the failure then of the entire board if articles aren't written. But I can tell you about whatever in the past, though. Sometimes articles have been written and submitted, and no feedback was given because I wrote 2 or 3, and
I wrote a bunch for Alan, and sometimes he'd just toss it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
It wasted my time.
that's what happened to me.
That's kind of what happens with articles, though, especially on the news side. We used to generate 500-word articles a week. Every week, 52 weeks a year. You know how many and I worked at the Camp Pendleton Scout as a journalist for 1 year. You know how many stories people actually came up and talked to me about that I wrote? Donut hole. It seemed like no one ever read anything that I put any kind of effort into unless it was about them. But that's you don't do it for the praise. There are people out there who are going to read it, and it's going to have an effect on them, and that's why we write articles. And honestly, a 250 to 500 word article can be generated in an hour and a half, edited, done, and in a 24-hour turnaround, pretty much.
But I think you might have misunderstood. I don't think anyone was talking about anyone publishing it and having it be read. We were writing them and giving them to the newsletter article, and he threw them out.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did misunderstand.
Yes.
That's incredibly insulting.
Especially considering the first one I submitted was on the statement of principles, which I kind of know about and get invited to paid places now to go speak on.
Okay, well, let's start the ball rolling on this right now. Let's give Steve all the support we can. I have a feeling the first couple will be trials, and we'll see how they work. And David, if you could, when that goes out, could you monitor how many people are actually reading those as well? And just so we have an idea how effective how effective it is.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna have to talk to Karen about how that whole thing works.
Okay.
See, we have more.
Karen?
Kim, I'm forwarding to you also the LP Nevada newsletter so you can see what I was talking about that they did. And this is what Nation Builder's capable of.
Mike?
Do we decide frequency, quarterly, annually?
I think we start quarterly anyway.
Yeah, I think quarterly to start with is going to be fine. John?
Are we talking about like an email that is a list of headings with a little short blurb and then see more?
I will forward
to you.
Yeah.
You're going to get an example.
Send it
You'll
to
get
the
an
board.
example. Karen's sending them out to everybody right now. Richard?
So since we're talking about quarterly, what I would suggest is we're at the end of our first fiscal quarter this month. I would aim for the end of next fiscal quarter. That would have you coming out September, December, March, and then June every year. If we keep it that quarterly thing, that would have us having a newsletter published just before convention, which then we could print copies, also have available for display there for people who just come to the convention. That would be my suggestion. That would also give us 3 months to really figure out how we want this layout to work, come up with articles and play with some of the layouts and start that schedule. So that's my suggestion.
Kim?
Do we have a name for the newsletter?
I think so.
Some libellous. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, we've had one in the past and we've used Colorado Liberty, which is something that we've used for years and years. But along those lines also, because all the Colorado Liberties are now scanned, thanks to David doing a ton of work of this before he took over the database, and they're on LPedia. There are basic general information articles in Colorado Liberty that haven't changed. The Libertarian principle articles are the same thing. They can be pillaged.
Oh, yeah.
You could-
Steal
you
an
could-
old article and reuse it.
We have 20-something years of Colorado Liberty that half of that stuff could just be completely pillaged.
The most beautiful thing was seeing those pictures from 1984 with people with the signs that said taxation is theft.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a new thing.
That's not
We
a new
shouldn't have
thing.
doing that.
John?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if that's the format we're gonna be using, then even if nobody really contributes anything for that quarter, you can still send out the stuff that she was talking about, how to look, so you can still have something.
During the summertime, when we have a lot of activities planned, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to fill at least half that newsletter with just reports on what's happening at outreach booths, affiliate activities, things like that. There's no reason that we can't do that. But we have to get in contact with the affiliate leaders and have them on board so that we can expect a report after everything that they do, so that we can get it in the newsletter. That will help generate interest in other affiliates. They'll say, hey, look what these guys are doing. Maybe we could do something like that. And that type of information is really good. David, you had something?
Off topic, I would like to talk about the data sharing program at some time.
Okay, I will put you down here. All right.
One quick thing.
Yeah,
Can I
go
make
ahead.
a suggestion for a name? I would like the name Liberty and Co. CO.
Colorado.
Company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's kind of a.
Yeah, it's a fun.
Should we start off your first article as a contest for the name?
That's not a bad idea either. It's a good way to
And
get
you
people.
get some
Everybody
kind of
has any-
swag from the.
If anybody has any suggestions for the name of the newsletter, email them to Steve. I'm going to let Steve make the decision on what he wants to call it.
If we want cartoons or comics for this newspaper, just let me know. I can contribute stuff. Just give me the idea. I'll draw it.
Yes.
Good. Steve, do you have any other questions that you want to
No, I think
throw
that's
out?
it for now.
Did that give you a little bit of an idea of what
Yeah.
dynamite? Does it seem workable?
Not sure yet.
Well, if we have to make some changes,
Right.
then we can do that. But let's do the first one and see how it comes out. And then we can, this is your baby, so you're gonna have to let us know. We gotta make this change because I'm not getting enough articles written, or I'm having trouble with the formatting or whatever, or Kim's having trouble with the formatting for whatever reason. Doesn't sound like she will have any trouble, but, let's do the first one, and then let's bring the feedback back to the group after the first one's out, or maybe just before the first one's out, and start this all over again and make sure that we're all on the same page here. Okay. Mailing new Libertarians communications. This was brought over from last month that we didn't get
It
to.
is brought over from last year.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Every meeting.
Yes. I'm not letting it go.
You want to take it or you want me to?
You can, because I think I took it enough.
So guys, we've talked about this a lot, about how we want to mail out new Libertarians and figuring out what that's going to look like, whether we want to get something from fundraising, a letter, thank you for joining the party, if you'd like to donate, that sort of thing. If we want to put a copy of the newsletter in there, that sort of thing. We need to come to a conclusion as to what's going to be in a welcome packet, if we're doing a welcome packet, and if we are, I think it's kind of already been decided that we are. We just don't know what to put in it and who's going to take responsibility for it. In the past, fundraising director did it because you get a lot more responses from those new Libertarians who are just joining, showing interest. And so Clint took it upon himself to really blast that out there, and got some luck from it. It was a way for him, for us to also introduce ourselves to these new Libertarians in addition. So it served a couple of different purposes, and we've got to figure this out. I don't have a motion, but we need to have a very candid discussion about how this is going to happen. So make that happen.
One thing to add to that.
Yes.
We raised $400 to do this, and we asked people
Yes,
to give money for this, and people gave $400, and we haven't done it. And that's why I'm so hot on it, because I consider donations, when we say we're gonna do something, other people's money. We have OPB right now, and we got OPM. Whatever, OPM. And other people, something else. Well, it could be a lot of different things. But we have OPM right now, and that's not good. We promised to do this, and we haven't. It's been a year. That's why I keep bringing it up.
Where we want to put it, we want to put in a welcome letter signed by Wayne, signed by the chair.
Say that one more time, Kim.
A welcome letter signed by the chair. A bumper sticker. A request for donation. Notice about it. So
Clint included a little packet or a little thing on the vision packet or whatever, little thing explaining the party.
Yeah. Do we as the Colorado Party have a place that you can actually join and pay dues?
Well, that should be something that that we should be able to put together. Eric, have you reached out to Clint yet for his ideas on what he sent out to the new people?
I haven't reached out to him yet. You said he's on the share drive, or not share drive, the Nation Builder. You said his contact info on Nation
Yes.
Builder?
Yeah.
Okay, Clint
But
Jones.
Clint Jones.
So
And he volunteered to help you with this. At
Okay,
convention, he said just have Eric call me.
Right.
So he's expecting your call.
Yep.
So let's get this done. I want to get these things out. We've been talking about this for too long.
So
It has to happen.
it sounds like this is going to be directed to fundraising? Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay.
I will supply a letter to you that you can include in the packet.
Is that gonna be different from the one that I typed up for you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll write it.
so scrap the other one then?
Send it back to me. I
Okay.
don't remember what we have, Eric. Go ahead and send it back to me and let's review it. John?
This would add a little complication to that process, but I think it would be valuable to send them contact information for the local affiliate or development group.
Bingo. Absolutely.
You know, but
And that's gonna be a little bit of effort on your part because you'll have to figure out what county they're in.
That's what.
Let me know what county and all that, and I'll get you all the contact info you need.
David?
Something that I would like to see emphasized in this packet is for these people to come to our website and give us their email address. Because email is free, okay? If we have to send them a postcard, that's 50 cents. So
Yeah.
if-
And the mailers are costing us $2.
What?
The mailers will cost us $2. So.
Okay, but once we get their email address, then we can communicate over Zip.
Yeah.
If we don't have their email address, we're screwed.
Kim?
What I was thinking was everything would fit into a regular envelope, and you just have a piece of paper that Daniel could perhaps do up with your local county affiliate or group is, blah, blah, blah. We have a bunch of those that are already set. A bumper sticker, donate to the LP Colorado, join LNC, welcome letter.
And this doesn't all have to fall on Eric. I mean,
no,
we print a bunch of address labels and we can have a stuffing party and,
Yeah.
send out a bunch
If we
every
come-
couple
if
months.
If we come half an hour early here, we could stop.
Well, guys,
That was
the
that.
reality is if we're talking about just new libertarians, we're probably not talking about 10,000 pieces.
Right.
We're talking about maybe 500.
We can't
So,
afford that.
This doesn't have to be an overwhelming project. But we need to go ahead and start buying the supplies and get this ready to go out. I'd like to see this go out in the next month if we can. Richard?
So then I would have a request for the chair in this instruction is that we have a sample letter in an envelope brought to next meeting. That way we can all look at it and we can finalize anything from there and start.
Tell you
sending
what,
out.
I'll put my letter together. Before that, I'll send it out by email and anybody can give me input on how to improve it.
Okay.
And then once everybody's thrown their 2 cents worth in, then I'll give Eric the green light to make that the letter that we're going to use.
Yeah, but the letter, I mean, the
whole
packet.
packet, the whole packet
right.
by July's meeting. If you get the letter done by then, do you feel like that's realistic? Pull some stuff together and get us a sample what this mailing will look like.
I was gonna say, I can't get 500 letters
No,
by myself
no.
by July.
No,
If you
just
can
one.
Get me one.
Yeah,
One
Get- or
packet
get
we
us
can look
one,
at.
yeah.
Okay. Karen?
It's not to do with that. Can I say something that's kind of like out of order? I'm getting you that. You wanted that register to vote card. I'm sending that to you.
That's a big one. I mean, it's.
So we want a voter registration card in this thing too?
Maybe.
No,
No, that's how we know about it.
Yeah.
We use a card at the outreach booth that basically says, go to our website, and there's a spot where you can actually change your voter registration through our website. link to
Yeah,
our
that's what I'm
website.
trying to
It's-
download right now.
You get people walking to the booth, they don't even know what a libertarian is. By the time they walk out, they're ready to sign up. You want to show them how to get there easy.
Yeah, I had that file, so I'm gonna send it to you.
I guess in relation to the off-topic comment, so we don't have VRD now, or we're not doing?
No.
VRD?
Nobody's
Why
trained
not?
because they're lazy.
There's two
And it's scary to
reasons.
find.
It's just, I have had people register at the booth, and to
You
me,
don't,
that's kind of the goal.
well, you don't have to be VRD to have them register at the booth if they do it entirely themselves and you just stick a computer in front of them.
But if we hold those pieces of paper, then we got a
Right.
$50 a day fine after 3 days.
We don't
if you don't get them in.
Yeah.
And you got to get them into the right county.
So
So we
that
just
was,
decided it wasn't worth it.
before there was that online registration, the VRD forms were really important. But now, if you have a computer sitting there, but we tell them when we sit down, I can't help you. It's self-explanatory. If you'd like to use my computer, you could register, but I can't do it for you. I can't.
We had great success at
spell
Douglas
libertarian?
County at the fair. We got 10 or 12 people that
Oh,
switch their
registered
registration right there.
Oh, yeah, I
Okay.
sign up
nice.
people all the time with that. I just bring my laptop and put it in front of them.
Yeah, and the
Okay,
county
my
clerk's
iPad.
office had a booth there too. They said about 2-3 people had come down and switched their registration at the booth at that
Yeah.
fair.
And the card I sent has the QR code if they want to do it when they get home, or if they sit down and they're confused, because you really can't help them. That's when we're going to start getting in trouble.
Can you spell libertarian?
No, it's a checkbox.
Do we have those cards printed to you?
Kevin's gonna
I'll
get
something
them.
for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just sent you the file.
Do we have a motion to pay for that, for the printing cost for
Let
Kevin?
me ask you a crazy finance question. I mean, there's several different things. I've incurred some personal expenses on behalf of.
Yeah.
It would be my honor to be able to donate those purchases to some level, which I don't know what that limit is, but I have not billed for the tent repair or the weights for the tent or couple of printed things that we've done, big poster, but do I need to produce some sort of an invoice in kind or something in some upward?
Legally, John is in trouble if you don't.
So another thing occurred to me, because I went into the LP.org website and bought $20 worth of bumper stickers. Okay, now I believe that the $20, LP National considers that a donation, so I donated $20 to National. They give me 100 bumper stickers. I use them on behalf of LP Colorado. I can't make the same donation twice. How's that work?
That's a good question.
It could be you're donating the bumper stickers.
I know how the government would do this. They
Right.
would tax
Yeah.
me both times, but I spent $20 to LP National. I bought 100 bumper stickers. I'm giving them away on behalf of LP Colorado.
You just can't write it off your taxes, but it could work as to get donations, yeah.
All right, guys, let's get back to it here. So we have everybody's in play right now. Everybody knows what's going to happen with this. Eric, I guess you're going to be kind of driving this bus. I'll get the letter over to you in the next week.
Yep, we'll get started on a sample format. Then just one more thing on that. So for the request for donations, that was the envelope redesign you were talking about, right, John? Yep, I'll make sure to get cracking on that. That'll be one of the first parts I do, plus the letter you're working on, Wayne.
Okay.
I'll send you what I was working on.
Okay. All right, good. Next item we have is Joe Johnson. Guys, I have to take responsibility for this one. I forgot to call Joe. That will happen this week. I'll call him. And this is a big one because I think we're all in support of a full slate, full ballot. So I'll reach out to him, and if I can get his commitment, I'll try to get him to our next meeting, if his time allows.
I got used to that, so one of my things coming up, yes.
We don't have any special committee reports or special orders. Or general orders. I should take these off. All right, new business. First thing we have is discussion of contents of newsletter, which we've covered. National membership retention.
Karen,
We're going to wait for Karen to come back, so we'll skip to the next one's hers too. All right, Secretary of State dropping of inactive voters, and that's regions.
All right, so this is just kind of more of an FYI. I want to get with you on it more after the meeting, but I went out to Jefferson County a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking with Bill and them, and one of the things that he mentioned was about every 6 months or so, the Secretary of State goes through and drops inactive voters because they missed some weird, obscure local election and they didn't vote in it.
It's
so
2 years worth, though.
Well, he was saying it's every 6 months. He's been
Every
having
6
this
months they
problem.
go through it, but they have to miss 2 years worth of local elections.
Well, from what he's saying is they're doing it once they miss one. It's a one and done kind of situation. And that's what I really want to look into is potentially, is this just something that's being directed at us, or is this something that is affecting all of the parties and we need to kind of call the Secretary of State on it and make sure they stop?
Is this something is that a volunteer position you just took on, Dana?
It is.
I have a feeling it was.
And,
What did we do?
Well,
Okay,
and
David?
might have some.
When I get the Secretary of State's file, which has all of the registered libertarians on it, I load that and I can figure out who got dropped. And
How do we know they're
if
doing
you
that?
guys want that, I can send it to you.
that
Do
would
you know
actually
off
be
the top
helpful,
of your
yeah.
head how many it is?
Well, I think the last time I did it, which was between January and March of this year, I think we dropped about 600 people.
Whoa.
But those were probably people who didn't vote in the 2016 general and who may not have voted in a couple prior.
See, those would be the type of contacts that both fundraising and or membership could reach out to. That'd give you a database of people to reach out to that I think the conversation would be very valuable.
I've still got what I did is I saved those records. I've got them on my hard drive. So if you want them, I can give them to you. You can.
Absolutely.
Is that something, Steve, that you're willing to take charge of part of that and have Eric help you with that?
I'm willing to help him. He volunteered. But
You volunteer for something else.
But if they didn't vote for 2 years, do we want to reach out to these people?
Well,
Sure.
it's not necessarily even that that they're from what I'm hearing, it's not even that they're not voting every 2 years. It's that they're missing one and they're getting dropped. These are
We
people
should
who are
verify that.
I mean, if
Right.
that's
We
the
need to find
case,
out if
that
that's
would
the case.
probably be illegal.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well,
Illegality, shit, that didn't stop Mike Kaufman.
People may not actually be aware
oh, yeah.
of
and
that
there's that
either.
too.
They may think that once they register, that's it, they don't have to do anything else, and then at some point in the future, they'll pick it up. So this may actually be an opportunity for us to have a postcard to mail out to them to say, hey, did you know that the Secretary of State has deemed you inactive and has deregistered you? You may want to go back on and re-register yourself.
Well, I think the postcard idea is fine, Kim, but that's only if we don't have a phone number. I think the phone is our most effective tool here. David?
These could also be people who change from Libertarian to something else. So,
How dare they?
Yeah, I mean, I think before we contact people, we should find out if there is anything unusual going on. If it's their 2-year rule and that's what they're doing for everybody, there's not much we can do about that.
I believe the data from the Secretary of State, though, will show their last active election. So I think we can.
Yeah, they have the
probably
history
filter-
of every election you
Yeah, we
voted
can
in.
filter that out to look specifically for those that you want to investigate.
I would be very
Right.
surprised if they're dropping people after 6
I have a feeling it's probably an automated
No, it's every
database
6 months they
system,
look at it.
would be my guess, that
Well,
it's
he was
not
saying they were
something
getting
that
dropped
anybody's
after
doing with malicious
6 months.
intent by any means.
But
But
they look at it for 6 months,
I
dropped
have
after
one
a year.
tracer.
Okay.
I'm
Will
saying
you
they
gather
dropped
that
after 2
information
years.
for us, Daniel?
Joe
Absolutely.
has a
Okay.
comment.
I was just gonna say that, like in business, right, your best customers are the ones who dropped you, you go contact them rather than just randomly contact people.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Good
they've
point.
registered, it makes sense.
Yes, all those people are live bodies, and we need to get them back into the fray. And sometimes people, they don't vote for a couple sessions, and we need to reach back out to them and stress the importance of being involved.
Yeah, bunch of anarchists.
Okay. Next, we got back up to communications, national membership retention.
This is another thing we need to work on. We don't really use Nationals list, that we get that data dump and it kind of nothing is done with it. We can get lists of lapsed members every month, the lapsed national members every month from National if we wanted it, and some people could call to see why they've lapsed or get them to rejoin.
Okay.
About how many is it?
Okay, that's difficult to say. Like, for instance, let me give you a general idea though. This is actually a big problem. Pulling up my last regional report. Colorado,
it's wrong. Redo your math.
is it? My math does suck. 17, it's 37 and 17, whatever. It's close to 50.
40.
Oh, there's
No,
still a
that'd be
lot.
50.
Yes.
It's 37 and 17.
37 and 17.
54.
54.
37. No, it was 77 up to 17. That's 40.
Doesn't make any difference, guys.
Okay,
The
whatever.
importance is we have people that their national memberships have lapsed, and
So whatever my math, I've never claimed to be good at math. In fact, I claimed the opposite. So we were in April at 617 national members. Come May, we're at 577. So 40 drop. That, if my math, well, Washington dropped more than we did, but they also are big. We're the biggest ones in Region 1, so we will have a bigger drop. Percentage-wise, we might not have. But that doesn't mean we lost 40 members. That means we had a net loss of 40. We could have lost 80 and gained 40 because there's always new people signing up. This is a net total. So I would guess we probably lost 80 and gained, or whatever. We gained a certain amount too. But that's, most months, it's a swing of like 15 to 20 one way or another. So we're probably talking about up 30 to 40 a month that are in this swing. For the next few months, we shouldn't be, this is discouraging, but shouldn't be terribly discouraging. Actually, Clint wrote me to ask why we fell so much. And nationally, we know why we fell so much. We're going to go through this for about the next 4 months. There was a Trump panic, and a bunch of people who weren't really serious about another party registered with various other parties, be they Green, be it Constitution, be it Libertarian. And it was a Trump panic jump. And the people who weren't really serious about changing to anything, that it was an emotional reaction at the time, we're going to lose them. We're trying to retain them, obviously, but this was expected. If this continues for longer than 3 or 4 months, then I'd start to get really concerned. But for the next few months, we kind of expected it. Maybe we could capitalize on them. Maybe they became apathetic because they didn't see the LP doing anything. And if we actually called these people, maybe we could retain them. But in any event, we need to be concerned about retaining national members.
Do you have a proposal?
This is... no, I don't have a proposal. It needs to be followed up on, and that I maybe.
How do we get this information? Who do we email? What do we do?
Okay, we get a monthly data dump
Right.
from National, but the chair at any time could write to Robert Kraus at home office and say, please send me the Colorado lapsed members for the past month, and he'll send it.
So what I would propose is that, Wayne, you do that once a month, and then you and Steve work on trying to contact some of these lapsed members as membership director and state chair, and I can help out as well, but in particular you two as beacons in those areas. I think that would be, I don't see.
It's not a lot of calls.
Yeah.
David?
I have yet to see any data dumps from National.
Do we have to ask for that, Karen?
No, you get it. It's sent to you.
I haven't seen one yet either.
Perhaps,
Probably going to Jay.
no, because it's chair at lpcolorado.org. We don't switch email addresses
All right.
when
I'll
officers switch.
pay more attention and see if something comes through that I've been deleting or refiling.
You could write to Robert at any time and ask him to resend it to you.
Okay. All right. I'll
But
get that
those
done.
data dumps should be going to David to be importing into Nation Builder.
In fact, you might be able to ask, Robert, is it?
Robert Kraus.
Yeah, you might be able to ask Robert to redirect, or not redirect those completely, but I'll copy database manager as well. That way he gets them as well automatically.
Yeah, if you write him and just say who we want it sent to.
I don't
But it
know.
has to come from you. They won't accept
Yep,
that
that's
direction
fine.
from anyone else.
We had a conversation with them about a month ago, and they said they were gonna change it to database manager. But I've never seen anything.
All right, I'll reach out.
Okay.
Okay. Next one, Facebook group link. That's communications.
Yeah, okay, so Facebook has a new feature I've been alerted to on our brand page, the state page, I'm sorry, I have too many hats. The state page, on the side, we can link to a discussion group now that's our quote-unquote official group. And there is that community group, but that's always been a little ticklish because Alan started that group, and when there was that thing that happened, whatever. So I went to Alan privately and said, whose group do you consider this? Do you consider this property of the state party, or do you consider it your property? I'm not looking to boot you as admin. You could stay admin for life. I just want to know whether it's our property or not. And he said he considers it the state property. And I said, okay, well then I'm probably, with board approval, going to link the 2 pages so it's our official group.
So moved.
So that I just was making sure there was no objection to doing that, and to get on the record that I did speak with Alan privately, so we didn't have any issues.
And we're linking a discussion page with our Facebook
It will
page.
just be if somebody clicks on a link at the size that says group, it'll take them
Yeah,
to that
we've
group.
got our page and then we've got our group. This would link them together.
It doesn't trade content.
Right,
Oh, but
yeah.
what else it also will allow us to do is okay, here's a problem. Believe it or not, there are people in the party who actually other people don't get along with, and I know that's real surprising. And there's a few people that I have on block, but I've been reluctant sometimes to do that, even when people get abusive with me, because I post official notices in the group, and if I'm posting official notices and I have them on block, they don't get to see it. I don't think it's fair to them as a member. So I sometimes take some things I probably shouldn't. But when we link the two, I could post as the party. And this makes it clear too when the party is speaking, so we don't get any more of these weird things where are you speaking on your own, are you speaking on the party? We could add to the group discussion. If it's an official post, it'll say Libertarian Party of Colorado is saying this. And anything that's done by anybody else is their personal opinion, and vote them out next convention. What can I tell you? So that is also the big benefit. And now if anyone does have anyone on block, they could still see official notices, because that's not fair to the members for them not to be able to see that.
That's a good point.
Okay, any further discussion or questions?
For the official posts, even though it would be the Libertarian Party of Colorado posting it, I would recommend that if we are making the post on an official capacity, we sign it at least with our position.
Some things that's appropriate, some things it's not. If it's like a blog post and an article about you're seeking to improve development group leaders, across the board, and that was something, but even that we would do as a blog. Hey,
well,
we don't sign them on the state page. The types of posts are the same types of posts that would go on the state page. We depersonalize these things. The only post that really should ever be signed is the message from the chair, because it actually is a message from the chair. Everything else is the party, and I really don't think we should be signing.
Everyone on the board has the schedule of who is scheduled to post when, so we shouldn't be surprised by who's posting something at what time.
Well, I mean, the
Okay,
schedules
hold on.
are a little bit different.
Hold on a minute, guys. You got to be recognized so that we don't have 10 people speaking at once. Clayton, you had something?
LNC data at lpcolorado.org goes to the communications director, outreach director, and regions director. We can change that, of course, but that's where it goes to.
no, that's the website signups. That's not the dump. The dump is going to be something different.
The dump is supposed to be going to LNC data, but maybe it's not. That's where originally that name came from.
Have you seen any dumps?
The only thing I've gotten is the individual LNC data things, not a mass dump.
Okay, let me go back and clarify this. Every official notice goes on our state page. Every director has their time slot. The ones that will get posted to the group, it's rare. We're not duplicating everything over to the group. I'll probably be the only one doing it. It's going to be things like we're looking for committee applicants, things that might get missed easily on the state page.
Don't forget conventions coming up.
Yeah.
Things like that.
But it'll be things like that, and I will be taking care of that. So there's no reason. And anyone who's an admin on the state page, as you notice when you post, it says who posted. Now, right now it says Hootsuite when we do it through Hootsuite. But when it's you guys posting, it says who posted. It's never a secret for anyone who's an admin on the page. We'll see who posted what. So if someone goes off the rails, we'll know who it was.
And that was just my big concern. We had some issues like that with official Facebook pages before in other places I've worked, and it having people take that level of accountability always did something, but I didn't realize that it also knew and tagged who we were already.
When you're an admin, it says who posted it. So like when I go to the national page, I know which scheduler posted each
on
and
editor
everything.
level, it shows too.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
I'll take care of doing that.
Okay. Next one, we have committee to revise the DG affiliate guidebook. Regions.
So I'm wanting to, as many of you know, kind of redo our development group to affiliate guidebook. And I'm wanting to, I've reached out to the affiliates and development groups, and I've gotten some feedback on it. A lot of them seem interested in something new. What we had before, it's okay. I want to make something great. And now that we have a couple of affiliates that have gone through the process, I think we can this into a good tool for us to use in the future. For the committee, I was wanting a few special requirements though. In particular, the members from the actual affiliates, the 5 that we have right now. If possible, I know like Delta County, even though they do have someone who was there when they affiliated, Deborah, they've been affiliated for 16 years. Arapahoe, I don't know if anyone at Arapahoe was there when Arapahoe affiliated. But ideally, someone who was there when they were a development group, while they were going through affiliation, and then after affiliation. And then from the development groups, I'd like to see someone that's been there at least 3 months or is in a leadership position, just because they're already somewhat dedicated to it. They've shown that minimal level, and they're kind of aware of what's going on. Would there be any objections to that, to me setting those kind of standards for the committee?
Well, I just want to clarify, is this a committee that you're trying to do or that you're asking Wayne to appoint?
This would be, I'm guessing this is something that I can do on my own, right? This falls, or I'm not exactly sure what ground.
I think a committee would be appropriate for this one. Daniel said the more eyes you have on it, the more ideas you have, the better the end result's going to be. I think probably an appointment is going to be the most appropriate thing here.
Okay.
And
the time frame I'm looking at is about 6 months. It's not a very big book. That should be more than enough time. Absolute drop dead time, 6 months, December.
Okay, Richard?
I don't think that this should be an appointed committee. I think this falls directly under Daniel's responsibility. And if Daniel wants to do this, I think Daniel should run for it. I think if we, as a state party, say that we're going to make this an appointment process, then we need to recruit candidates, set up application forms. It needs to be voted on by the board, et cetera, et cetera. And there's just no, I think Daniel is perfectly capable of doing this on his own. And if that being the case, I don't think anything really needs to be approved by the board until Daniel presents a final product.
Well, I'm okay with that. Karen?
I was going to reiterate what Richard said. I have a ton of my own little committees going on that I have run by you guys. I got my whole social media group. I got that media action group I started. It's my job to make sure it gets done. And if I want to recruit some volunteers to give me input, but the final decision is mine, that's really nothing I'm bringing before you guys.
Okay, well, I'm perfectly fine with that. Daniel, you want to run with us? Okay.
I'll put them together, and I'll hopefully have a new affiliate development group to affiliate guidebook here in the next couple of months. Okay, bring for you guys.
Ken Weibel was the original with the Arapahoe group, and I believe he's still around.
He is.
Okay.
All right. Next thing we have, apparently we are still lacking a bio for Kim and for Clayton.
Kim gave me hers, and I already talked to Clayton.
Way to call people out like.
I did. I ran.
Put it right on the agenda.
Right
Boy,
on
I gotta
there.
tell you.
Look at Clayton.
Another issue that I have with the Gmail for the is I cannot attach anything.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay, Richard, you're going to help her with the
You know how to
agenda,
work
right?
Photoshop, and you're not able to work Gmail.
Gmail isn't nice. It has
Well,
many
Google
problems.
sucks.
Yeah,
It
Gmail's a pain in the ass.
I will
So-
Photoshop the heck out of anything, I don't care, but don't ask me.
It's starting to sound like, Kim, maybe we need to sit down at a computer together.
Yeah, you need to come and have a look at my
That's
computer and I will.
a long drive for me, if anybody
That's
else
she'll
wants
drive
to.
around.
Hey, Broomfield's, I'm closer to Broomfield. I can come down and try and help you with Gmail a little bit.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Once you get it, it won't be so bad.
It has to do with the way it was set up by the director before you.
No.
There's probably some mistakes.
This is Google.
No.
There's more to it than that?
Richard used Google Inbox. So I used Inbox. I did not use Gmail. Gmail is a pain in the ass. I suggest going to inbox.google.com and you might find that it's a bit more organized.
It's the fancier
I
thing
think we
than
hit a nerve there.
Gmail, regular Gmail. It's fancy.
Yeah.
It's like color coordination and all sorts of things going on. And it's just,
Nice try.
All right, next one we have user contract, and that's communications and treasure.
Yeah, John had some proposed revisions to the user contract, and I didn't feel comfortable making them sua sponte, and said that was something that would have to be brought to the.
I thought it was just the one
Well, I thought it was several that you had.
that you fixed.
Well, I fixed a number 7 where it says shall be by, shall be decided, where obviously there were some words duplicated. That is an obvious typo. But then we were going up to number 1 that you had thought was wrong or unclear.
Grammatically incorrect, actually.
And I still never really followed what you were saying, and we just said we'd bring it up at the board.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, the original is, on the terms and conditions of this agreement, organization, this is us, hereby contracts with user to be provided organizational data. The next sentence is, user hereby agrees to do so.
Oh, I see what you're
Subject
saying.
to the terms and conditions set forth herein. And the only thing that's really wrong with it is they've got organization and user flipped around. Because if you reword it so that it says, on the terms and conditions of this agreement, user hereby contracts with organization to be provide organizational data. User hereby agrees to do so, and it all fits. Whereas the other, also the other one, the original one, it sounded like the organization agrees to be provided organizational data. It was just wrong, and I just changed those 2 words and it's fixed. That's what I propose. That's what I moved.
I don't agree with that, though. I see what you're saying now, and that there is a grammatical error was created by the fact that we took out, it used to say, organization hereby contracts with user to have access and use the organization data and website. User hereby agrees to do so. The do so was use the organization data and website. Right now it says, user hereby, organization hereby contracts with user, with it to be provided. What was it?
Yeah, to be provided organization data.
To be provided organization data. User hereby agrees to use such or something like that, subject to the terms and conditions of this herein. It's the user that has terms and conditions, not the organization. So it's just that sentence needs to refer back to what they're being given. It used to be a different sentence. It used to say organization data and website. Now it just says provided organization data. So it'd be,
just change the 2 words.
Well,
Just transfer
even a
those
simpler
words.
fix, add a possessive organizations data. User to be provided organizations data. That'd solve the problem.
to be provided.
Yeah, and so it'd be organization hereby contracts with user to be provided organizations data. Just apostrophe S.
Yep, that works. And then the rest of it's correct.
No,
Yes.
no. The second sentence still doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does.
No,
It's,
it agrees to do so. He has to.
yeah, to be provided. They agree to be provided the organization's data subject to the terms and conditions of set forth herein. The organization, if you stick organization in there, it's binding the organization to a bunch of stuff. This isn't binding the organization to anything. It isn't binding the user to these terms and conditions.
That hasn't changed. The way I do it, user hereby agrees to do so, subject to it. That's the same. The only thing I'm changing is the first sentence.
Instead of to do so, maybe the user agrees to receive organization's data subject to terms and conditions.
It's repetitive.
I'm trying to keep it as short as possible.
Implies
Change 2 words and it's fixed. Just change the position of the 2 words.
Can you repeat the 2 words you want to change, John?
Yeah.
It took me a
in
second.
the first
to pull it up.
sentence.
Yeah.
Instead of organization hereby contracts, you put user hereby contracts with organization to be provided organization data. That way it's the user that's being provided the organization data, which is correct. And the user is the active, he's doing something in the first sentence. Therefore, to do so in the second sentence works. It's just English.
Are we in agreement now?
No.
Okay. Rather than do this without a handout, John, I'm going to ask you to send your proposed changes by email. We'll have an email vote this week.
Let me explain why I have an objection.
Yeah, please.
Okay, two things. A, this contract Jay got, it was written by an attorney. I don't mind changing little niggly things what we're actually providing, but flipping parties around, flipping subjects around, I don't feel comfortable doing when we're not attorneys and this was written by one. And it might be awkward the way it's written now, but let me tell you, contracts and awkwardness go hand in glove. But it makes sense to me as a paralegal, the way it's written now. It might be awkward, but I read insurance policies for fun. If you want to talk about awkward, Richard will tell you how fun they are. I don't agree with us taking something that was prepared by a legal person when we're not lawyers and flipping it around.
Be brave.
I won't do it. As a paralegal, for me to be saying to flip things around, I won't.
Send us your proposed changes and then we'll have a vote on it. Okay, disposal of 36 excessive folding chairs in outreach trailer. Kevin?
We have these lovely, high quality folding chairs, nicely padded. They're almost like new. I don't know if these came from the old office.
And they're very, very heavy.
They are very heavy. 36
they
of
look
these
good,
is probably 50% of the weight of what's in that trailer. And I think we convert them to cash that we could use for something. They gotta be worth, I don't know, even used $20 a piece.
Yeah, but will they pay that?
10.
Especially with the stripe.
You could sell those chairs, you could sell ice in Canada.
You can buy them at Walmart for about $12.
Wait, the big heavy ones like that?
This is not this chair.
I have two.
If you had to buy these chairs, new, they're gonna be $56 each.
Kevin, do you have a motion?
Is there anybody who wants those chairs first of all, or a chair?
Well, I got,
Or
they're,
your shed or something?
they're property of the LP of Colorado, so asking the board of the LP of Colorado to approve some form of disposal, if we can get them, so we can get some cash. But as it is, they're doing nothing but taking up space in the trailer.
That's something you're willing to head up to sell those chairs, Kevin?
Sure.
Okay.
Motion to leave it up to the discretion of the outreach director.
Well, we don't need the chairs, guys. Do we have any further discussion on this?
Only one question, we're sure we
Shoot.
don't need the chairs.
Well, and that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
These-
somewhere down the road.
These were purchased for a reason, for something, and who's to say that Clear Creek County can't rent out the high school gym, but they won't provide chairs, and now we have chairs. And if we get rid of these, we don't have that option.
Oh, I know what they're originally for.
Okay, what were they originally for?
We used to have an office.
We had a built that
Okay.
facility, yes.
So we had
So
chairs
who's
for
to-
all of us to sit.
Who's to
We
say
also
we
have
don't
a
eventually get an
70-cup
office?
coffee maker, I'm not, that's pretty lightweight, so I'm not that concerned about it. Someday if you all want coffee, bring it.
Guys, the reality is, if the chairs are worth $5 a piece, we can sell them for $5 a piece. We can always buy chairs for $5 a piece if we ever need chairs. Right now, they're taking up space in the trailer, and, well, frankly, they're in Kevin's garage right now. So,
Fact is, if we need chairs for something on that side of the state, you can lease chairs for a day for a couple of bucks a chair. And they'll deliver them and they'll pick them up. But I'm not driving them anywhere.
yeah. So your motion is, again, restate? Your motion is to,
My motion was to leave it up to the discretion of the outreach director.
I don't know if you need a motion.
we need an action item here.
I
Go ahead,
move that, I move that the outreach director be allowed to sell the chairs.
I think we have a motion on the board, on the table already, and it includes yours. And so,
Okay. Do
Call
we
the
have
question.
any discussion? All right. Any objections? All
I
right.
object. I object.
Okay.
But I'll be the only one.
Well-
I I think it's foolish to throw away perfectly good assets. I just don't see see any reason to do that.
Could we move them to a different storage place?
Your house?
Okay, the vice chair's house.
Let me address the asset question. I'm considering changing this fixed asset into capital asset that we can actually use instead of an asset that's sitting in the trailer. If we can convert that at $5 a chair to $180 and put that in the treasury, we can use $180. We can't use 36 chairs.
I'll buy 2.
There you go, $10. You gotta come pick them up.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna bring this to a vote then. All right. Vice Chair,
No.
Treasurer,
Yes.
fundraising,
Yes.
campaigns,
Yes.
outreach,
Yeah.
regions,
Abstain.
legislative is not here, membership,
Yes.
communications,
Yes.
records,
Yes.
okay, that passes.
Just as a side note, we have an additional 13 plastic chairs that
That we'll
are
keep.
weatherproof, and we're gonna keep those. We use them in the outreach booths. They will withstand any kind of wind or rain that we've encountered so far.
Well, see, that might have changed my vote.
Probably would have. All right, next, we have call to state convention volunteers. I don't remember what month we did this last year. I believe we did it in July, which means that we need to start putting our thoughts together and get that in place. Karen, do you recall when that was last year?
No, Jay kind of handled it himself, so.
So as I recall, what we did last year was it was actually the first meeting after convention. We talked about it by June. We had
Wow.
somebody.
Okay, well, we need to start this
But
now.
they didn't really do anything.
They didn't really do anything, but we had it, decided it, and yeah.
I think the time to call for volunteers is now. So let's go ahead and get that ball rolling.
Kim, what was that form you told me about?
Job form, jobform.com. Free, easy, and they email you the results.
Okay, got it. All
Are we
right.
also discussing was it this committee or was it different committees, certain requirements or prereqs or
I
anything
was
like
supposed
that?
to come up with some proposed questions for platform, and I got so crazy busy and I forgot.
I
It went
couldn't
in the
remember
same
if we
poll
talked
as
about
Joe
it
Johnson. Well, but weren't you going to use job form for something too, Richard? Because
Yeah, for,
oh, so you were going to me, and now
Yeah.
I'm putting it right back at you. So we all got stuff to do. Okay, but yeah, I'll work on that.
How's this call for volunteers gonna happen?
I'm going to send out an email and post it on the state page and post it in the group page and the party voice.
to be fair, on a Constitution and Convention Committee, I came up with a questionnaire, which was what I was supposed to do, and just didn't convert it over to job form, but I can certainly do that.
I haven't seen it.
It was emailed.
I didn't get it.
I'll forward it right now.
There's a
Okay,
couple
so Karen,
emails I have.
Karen,
Yeah,
you're gonna take
please
care of
do.
that,
Yeah.
that call for volunteers? Okay. Next thing here, I didn't see this until just now, formation of title for Sarah Cannon.
So Sarah has been exceptionally keen and eager and has volunteered and stood for election, and she wants to be involved. And I really think that we need to bring her in to the fold and give her some direction and let her know that we do appreciate all her efforts. And I was thinking that if we could come up with some name like youth coordinator or something like that, it would be a nice thing to kind of just tap into her talents and abilities under the umbrella of somebody else.
I propose community coordinator.
Obama, right there.
I kind of have to
Jazz
disagree with
community
this.
organizer.
This sounds like a participation trophy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like Sarah. I do. I think she's a great person. I've spoken very highly of her and the fact that she got herself to convention. She has participated in several things. She has been a very good activist from what I've seen. But I don't think we at the state level need to start, making special places for people just like that. I think, and I've reached out to Bill and I've talked to Bill in Jefferson County about him in Jefferson County working with her at that level. And I think she would be, one, way more effective, and two, I think she would learn a lot more if we kept her down there instead of trying to, give the pat on the ass, as it were, here at the state level.
Where does she live?
She lives in Jefferson County.
Okay, let's plug her into Jeffco.
I don't think she and Bill would work in the same room.
And I've talked to Bill about her, and I actually, at that last meeting, Jeffco meeting that I went to, I kind of sold Bill on the idea of utilizing her as an activist coordinator, because she is tapped into a lot of people. She knows, and when we go to do this signature thing, I'm sure that is someone that we can reach out to find volunteers to go out and get signatures. But that's, there's a lot of people volunteering and a lot of people doing a lot of things for the party. We're not going to give a title to everyone just because. Karen?
I'm going to add to what Daniel said. I have volunteers who volunteer daily for me, and they don't have titles. Robert Bentley posts 6-7 times a day on our Twitter feed and has never missed a thing. So I don't believe in just if somebody's involved, they need to get titles. I think with our policy manual that we're writing, perhaps there will be certain coordinator positions or whatever, but that we have to wait till we do that, and we have a process for it. And it's not just because if that's what we're doing today, I've got like 6 volunteers we need to give titles to.
But I agree with Kim. Sarah is an energetic bundle that we should need to direct and use somehow.
Just, the Supreme Court justice application or thing was Sarah. And
That's great.
that she would like to, that is one of the offices that she put on that she would like to run for. And I just feel that if every second that we're saying no, 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 that we are going to turn her off.
So
If we could find a way to direct that energy and to harness the skills that she has, the contacts that she has, and it sounds like Daniel has been doing that with Bill. So,
But also when we have outreach booths and things like that, I mean, she volunteers for all that stuff, and we'll get her as involved. It's just that if you want a title in the party, you either run for a position, or there are certain things where people have taken on tremendous responsibility, like Clayton has a title because he shows up at every meeting and runs their technology. David has a title because we're sparse about this, and it is somebody, it's going above and beyond. Otherwise people run for positions and get elected.
Well,
Can I just make a general suggestion here is that maybe in future we don't necessarily talk about people by name or
Thank you for that.
situation.
Yes. Yeah. But I think everybody knew who we were talking about here. We have I think we all feel a little bit of a burden to keep her involved because of her passion. But
No, Sarah is awesome.
frankly, I like Daniel's idea
which
to get her involved in a local level.
I was not aware of it, so that's just why I brought it up tonight. But
And that's close enough that she can actually get there. She volunteered to come down to Douglas County and help us with our signature collecting for the elected mayor on the 24th. She can't get down to Castle Rock. So I called her and said, well, you got to get down to Castle Rock. Well, I can't get there. Okay. Thanks for the interest. But Jefferson County, I think, would be a lot easier for her. And that I'll bring one more thing up on this, guys. On the 24th, I'm gathering as many libertarians as I can to gather signatures for the elected mayor petition that's being circulated right now in Castle Rock. We're in a contest with the Democrats and Republicans. I threw the gauntlet and we're in a contest now. So the more bodies that we have that want to come down and help us gather signatures, the more the merrier. That'll be on the morning of the 24th. We'll start at 9 o'clock. Haven't picked a meeting spot yet. But you have to go through about 10 minutes of training on how to collect the signatures. If anybody's interested, we'd love to have you.
And signatures for
right now
the
town of Castle Rock, the mayor is appointed by the town council, not elected. by the citizens. We want to make a change to that. The wheels are turning. We need about another 3,500 signatures. We have 30 days. So we have a very, very steep uphill climb. So the more bodies we can get that are willing to come down and give us the morning on the 24th, the better. So that wasn't on the agenda, but that's that.
What time is it?
We'll start at 9 till noon, or you can leave whenever you want, as early or as late as you want to stay.
My wife might be a little mad. We were planning on going to Ren Fair that day, but we can do that in the afternoon. I think I can convince her to give me the morning.
It's on the way.
Anybody that can make it, great.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Ren Fair's still the same place as it always is, right?
I guess.
Yeah, that's on the way to
I'll
Casper.
figure it out later.
Data sharing, Dave, this is yours.
Yeah, we're supposed to start data sharing with the county affiliates, next month.
This
Is that
month.
Right?
This month.
Do we want to purchase the SOS tape for June or July, or not at all, or?
What's the cost of that, Dave? $50?
$50. I think it's $50, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it's 50.
Well, I have an opinion on that. I think we should.
How old is one we have now? March, right?
The last one was March,
I don't think that much has changed in 3 months.
probably not,
And
so it's up to
You know,
you.
maybe not.
when do we regularly purchase them?
Usually right before convention in order to recruit
Once a year.
Libertarians, yeah.
Here's my thoughts. If we're going to be sending a data dump, we want to send the most accurate data we possibly can, and that would involve doing this. I guess now, how fast can we get those dumps? Because we did pass, and I thought you were copied on it, Dave, but that's supposed to be distributed this month, June. So if it's going to take us 30 days to get that, if it's one of those slow bureaucratic government process
A
type
week and a half, 2
things,
weeks, yeah.
okay, then we need to kind of do that if we're going to.
Are you making a motion?
I move that we go ahead and purchase the data from the SOS
Seconded.
on a quarterly basis. Let me.
Take a second back.
All right, any more discussion?
Is it quarterly basis?
On a quarterly basis.
Okay, any objections? No objections?
I object.
You object?
Yep.
Okay. Guess we gotta count them again.
Well,
Discussion.
wait, discussion.
Yeah.
I'll waste some money on it. It doesn't change that fast.
Go ahead, Mike.
That was my discussion. I don't want to waste the money on it because it doesn't change that fast. How up to date is the data we get anyway with this? It's usually half a month off.
Well,
What we just-
okay, it's my sort of understanding the way the Secretary of State works is that all the counties have to get their stuff in by the last day of the month. And the Secretary of State can then produce a tape for whoever wants it by the 4th or 5th day.
So we'd have to wait till the end of this month to get them an accurate,
Well,
updated.
we can
Get
get
lots
the
of
data
purchase
through
Mays.
the end of May right now.
Right.
Or we could wait until the end of June and get the data by the 5th or the 6th, but then it's gotta be mailed to you, and it's gotta get to me, and I gotta load it, and I gotta deal with the
We have
duplicates,
a deadline
and.
of June.
you know,
I can have it mail it directly to you.
There's a process involved.
John?
We don't get emails from those guys.
Yeah.
The stuff that we get from the LNC, I assume has emails, right? So that's really the more valuable input anyway.
Well, my biggest concern here, guys, is if we delay this by another 2 to 3 weeks and we're into July. Daniel?
From what I've gathered from the affiliates and the development groups, the number one thing they're interested in is email. Their addresses, they don't really want to write letters. It's too cost effective. No one wants to call anyone on the phone anymore. They just want to send an email. And not to mention the information, I've heard from several people, the information we're getting from the Secretary of State is not always that accurate. So, and that's why I kind of doubled back there, because I don't know about, $50 once a year is one thing. $200 a year for information that it doesn't really change all that much. I think that's a little too much of an expenditure.
David?
One thing that I've been doing over the last several months is matching the records that have the email addresses on them with the Secretary of State's data and merging those two, so that at 5 months ago, we had about 1,100 people. We had 1,100 registered libertarians. We had 1,100 registered libertarians with emails 5 months ago. Now we have about 1,600 because of all the matching I've done. And as these registrations come in, I'll be trying to match those with new contact stuff. So we'll probably have some more, but I don't know how many.
Just for clarification, is that you're going through like the Nation Builder accounts, and these aren't people who are necessarily registered libertarians, but you're finding the ones that have gone to Nation Builder who are registered libertarians. Okay, I got you.
Daniel, I'll ask you to bring your questions to me, please. Richard?
So here's my thought process. We can discuss 1 quarter like we're talking about originally. The reason why I said quarterly is because this to me is something that we need to not decide what's important data, what's not important data. We've committed to giving data, which our groups should assume is up-to-date data. And if it's not, then what's the point of us agreeing to do data? Why not just do a data dump once a year right before a convention? Yes, it is a little bit of an expense, but if we can get even 1 or 2 counties to use the phone numbers, to use the addresses, I mean, we should not be making the decision as to what data they want to use. We should just be providing that data and providing as much accurate and up-to-date data as we can.
Anybody else? Daniel?
The thing with that though is if they're already on Nation Builder, like we may not have them listed as a registered libertarian. Well, from what David was saying, they were.
Oh,
That's where
I
he's
see
getting
what
the
you're
email
saying.
addresses. If they're already on Nation Builder, then we're spending the money for the verification that, okay, this person's registered as a libertarian, and now we line up their email address that we have with them from Nation Builder. But the contact info that the affiliates in the counties are going to use is still there.
I feel like you just pointed out another plus of getting data more regularly is to combine mismatched records and combine those records.
Well, and that is a plus.
David?
Easy.
So,
It's more than a little
If we know somebody is a registered libertarian, we also know what district they live in. They can be a candidate, so on and so forth. So there is some use in knowing that these people are registered.
1 second here. David, if we do decide to get the latest information from the Secretary of State, how long will that delay us being able to get the information out to the affiliates?
I figure it's going to be probably, let's say, for example, that we get the tape on the 5th of the month. I expect it'll be probably 2 to 3 weeks before I actually get the tape. I upload it, I go through and combine any records and stuff. It's gonna take me a little bit of time, so I can probably start producing tapes for the counties probably by the last week of the month.
The last week of July?
No, well, if you get the July tape.
Okay, Karen?
Well, we have a June deadline to get stuff to the affiliates, but we don't have to do it with this last data dump we're talking about right now. We could get data out now, June, to the affiliates now. Plan on ordering the disc before the next dump that we're sending with enough time.
Say in August to have it ready for September's dump.
Yeah, so beginning after August 5th, order it, and that way it'll be ready for September. So we should just send out the June one like we promised, but without the most current disc. Order it
in August, if that's what we decide to do. I'm just saying, we haven't voted on your motion, but that's the way it could be done. I think we're stressing about having it now, and that's not really necessary. But what is necessary is we promised June, and we have to do it.
Okay, Eric, did you have something?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry to interject, but I'm a data analyst. Are you wanting a list of registered voters that are Libertarian and you just want their email address?
Well, we have that. We have Nation Builder, and we get a data dump from the Secretary of State.
What information are you wanting from them?
But Secretary of State doesn't have email addresses, so how could you add email addresses to that?
Well, just the other day I pulled, as of November 2016, online for free, there's something like a couple million registered voters and 46 columns worth of data, including, and I just imported that into Excel. Then you can filter by party and all that stuff. They even list what elections they voted in. I'm just saying, like, what information are you wanting? And then I hear DISC, all of it. And then I'm hearing DISC, and it's kind of troublesome from a data analytic point of view, because DISC technology.
Well, that's our government, yeah.
Let's get together and you and me talk about what you've got access to.
Because that sounds really valuable. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, Richard's motion.
Okay.
And it was objected, and we need to do a roll call vote.
Yep. All right, Richard?
Yes.
What's the motion?
A motion, move purchase SOS data disk quarterly.
Starting now.
No,
No, it didn't say that.
I didn't say when it would be starting.
Just say quarterly.
But so I understand. The motion actually, or what the discussion involved was, we would not purchase a new file from the Secretary of State. We would go ahead and deliver the data we currently have as of June.
And then from now on, we'll be buying those.
The next quarter.
Every quarter, $50. Yeah.
All right, Treasurer?
No.
Fundraising?
Yes.
Campaigns?
Yes.
Outreach?
Abstain.
Regions?
Yes.
Membership?
No.
Communications?
Abstain.
When?
Records?
No.
All right, let's see what we got.
What was outreach?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Okay, that passes 4-3. So we are in agreement that we're going to go ahead and get the data dump out to the counties right now.
Okay.
But the next quarter, we'll go ahead and order the updated information from the Secretary of State.
When do you want
Which
that disk
counties?
ordered? When do we want to order the next disk, the first disk?
So I would propose, and I don't think we need to vote on it, but I'd say we order it in August. That way we can take our time getting it in, that sort of thing. And then come September, when we're processing the dump and getting the dump ready, then it's already there for August. So it'll be offset that extra month. As far as which counties, I would partner with Daniel for the counties that have contacts, and that's all I would prepare it for, but be on standby if we get a new contact. We may need one on the fly.
Okay.
David?
Do we want to give them everything, or are there certain fields that we should not?
Well, and I have an opinion on that. We need emails, obviously. Physical addresses and phone numbers. Those are obviously named. Those are the three biggies.
Yeah, what is it that we'd want to withhold?
I think absolutely everything should be given out. I mean,
Do we
that's
have
taking
donation
data dump.
amounts? Do we want to withhold that? Employer might want to hold that?
It's all public record though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they can buy a disc.
I have no reason to limit it. David, how much of a burden is that if you just open it up and pull everything?
Pulling everything is the easiest thing.
Yeah, by far the
Well, let's
easiest.
just do that then.
Okay.
In my opinion, anybody have any other opinions on that?
Would there be a size problem?
It's text.
Direct that to David, John.
It's a size problem, but it's text, so there's no.
Size? No, there's no problem.
Okay. All right, we're in business on that. And I wrote something else down here, and I can't read my own writing. Something for Denver. Oh, money for Denver. Denver County has raised some money as a development group, which of course had to be turned over to the state. And John needs direction to give that back to Victoria to buy business cards.
Just a point of information, is that money already earmarked for them? That's not it, okay? I just, okay, to clarify that point of information, if it's already earmarked for them, it's already their money, I don't understand what board direction is needed. If this was them coming to us saying, we want some of the state of Colorado's money, then sure, but this is money that they raised that's in their account, right?
No, it's not in their account.
Not in their account, but it's.
It's not their money, it's because they don't have money.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of
Clarify. They raised some money for us that we earmarked specifically to
Yeah,
support
we
them.
intended to give it back to them.
Right. So I don't know that we need to vote on anything for that. If their representative is requesting that money, then I would just say, go for it.
Well, that sounds like a policy we don't have.
Karen?
Right?
But we should.
Karen?
Yeah, we don't have a policy. What, can she just buy them and submit the receipt? Because I'm not so sure we can just give money. I think
that's a fair point.
I think that's a problem to just give, we can't just give her money. I know when Douglas County was getting reimbursed for some things, we did it and submitted receipts and got reimbursed.
Well, that's what, yeah, that was what I intended.
Yeah, but that isn't the way the item was brought up. It was to give her money.
Yeah, no,
I reimburse for legitimate expense. We all agree to it. Just like.
Okay, so we should, I'll go ahead and call Victoria and tell her to go ahead and order the cards, submit the receipts for reimbursement.
And if she has questions about how much money is in the account, then, or how much money we've earmarked for her, then she can certainly ask that and kind of get that clarification before proceeding.
Well, it's state money, and I hate to see her spend $85 on business cards.
No, she was expecting 10, 15 bucks, something like that.
Well, guys, that's all we have on the agenda tonight. Does anybody have anything else you want to bring up? You got 5 minutes.
I'm curious about what information is going to be collected by from the affiliates and development groups to go into Nation Builder, in exchange for the data dump.
David, you can answer that.
I've got a procedure which is in our handbook, which Wayne is going to review, that allows them to transmit information back to the region's director, or I guess it could come to me, one or the other.
Probably both.
So we can get that information back into the system. And it's going to be critical for the affiliates to transmit that information to us, because if we don't get it the next time they get it dumped, it'll be wrong.
Right.
So they're gonna have to do that. If they don't do it, the system is not gonna work.
Does that answer your question, John?
Well, no. The question is, what's it going to be? But we've been talking about it in El Paso County, and there's some real pushback because, we told everybody we wouldn't share any information. So we're having to go through a deal, where we're getting permission from now on. And I was thinking of trying to use our contact resource manager to do a blast email to see if we can get some permission to share with the state. But I wasn't sure what we're going to be sharing with the state. That's why I'm asking. Because, like our outreach director, for one, said absolutely she's fine with sharing any of the stuff that's already public information anyway. Big deal. But she didn't want to share, where she spends her money and all that kind of stuff. So in other words, things like meeting attendance and donations that they've made, that sort of thing. So I don't think she realizes already.
Yeah,
they already have it anyway. That's Secretary of State.
Dave, can you put an email together to distribute to the board members specifically about what type of information we will be asking the affiliates to share?
Well, and
each field.
Yeah, I mean, I can summarize for you guys just knowing what I know about Nation Builder, and Dave, you can add on to it, but it's going to be name, phone number, address, email address, We already get everything else is most of that's public anyway through the SOS records. Really, the only thing that's not would be really email address. Other than that, I mean, it's the same if somebody were to go to a website, go to the Nation Builder website for us and say that they're interested and create an account. The only thing it takes is maybe a Facebook profile, which has their name and any other public information that they have out there, and an email address. So that would pretty much be it. I don't see us requesting.
I would say we should ask for, on a voluntary basis, employer and occupation as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And anything that anybody wants to add, we can certainly, we can create a basic profile using just what I talked about. And that would be all that I would really expect us to ask from affiliates, is that information in particular is updated. And then outside of that, anything that anybody wants to volunteer more. I mean, we can always go in and edit an individual's profile page to include marriage date, birth date, dog's best friends, all of that stuff if we wanted to. So, but I mean, Dave, would you agree? Just kind of that basic contact information,
right? Okay, I set up a spreadsheet called Outreach Contacts. It's got name, address, state zip, phone number, and email on it. That's all I'm looking for right now. Now, if you want me to add employer and occupation, I can do that. We'll make it part of the standard form, and they can fill it in or not. I really don't care.
And see, in my mind, we wouldn't even need that information unless they were donating specifically to us, in which case we'd have to collect it anyway at that time. So I don't know that we need that from the affiliate groups, to be honest.
It just saves.
At this point, guys, I think
when you get a donation that qualifies for that, and you haven't gotten the information.
Yeah.
If the information's already there.
Sure. Sure. But I can also see how people like your outreach director. I can also see how people like your outreach director may not want to give up that information so easily for whatever reason. And so just speaking minimums as far as what we want from affiliates, basic contact information would be it.
Quickly, I think we should just leave it where we have right now. Let's start getting the dumps out. Let's start getting information back, and let's see how the system works before we start trying to make any changes to it.
Okay, any further discussion? Then we are adjourned.